What if you could get more of the Jimmy and Nath Show with Emma? You can with the podcast. Thanks to What If. You're only a what if away from great holidays. What If? It's Aussie for travel.
Podcast, hello.
Yo.
Yo.
I was going to say something for the podcast. What was I going to say? Oh, went for a run yesterday, a little trot at a place called Centennial Park.
Oh, yeah?
And I think I've discussed this with you before, Jim, but what annoys me is when, like, I love dogs, but when people take their dog for a walk and on Centennial Park, they stand on one side, the lead is in the middle, and the dog's on the other side.
Not okay.
I quite
Stick to
literally-
left.
I had to hurdle this thing, and I
Was it a
had
big doggy? Was it a tall hurdle?
No, it wasn't a tall hurdle. It was like a little groodle thingy, right? So cute dog, but like I'm not the most athletic runner, you know what I mean? So after I've done, 5, 6, 7 clicks, I've not heaps of energy left in the tank, and I've got
You could easily step on the groodle.
and I've got to conserve. So the first time around, I did like a little jump, and then to get over the thing. Second time around, I've clipped the top.
Of the dog?
Of the human.
Yeah, I took the hard route.
Yeah. No, he goes, I love a challenge. I'm going to jump over this bloke.
No, I've clipped the top of the lead. I've heard the dog go, oh, and the guy goes, oi. And I didn't turn around, right? Because the thing with me with running is once I stop, it takes me a lot to get going again, like a freight train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes a while.
You're
to
like
get
a
the
train.
Semi-trailer.
Yeah, to get the
You're
big
on the
felt.
tracks. It's just going.
Just to get to big felt. When I run with my wife all the time, she likes stopping at red lights and stuff. I never stop. Never stop.
So do you run on the spot? Are you one of those
no,
guys?
I just do live froggy.
Nate hates.
Just straight over.
Yeah, Nate doesn't wait. He legally crosses.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Like
okay.
J run. Makes it more fun. Yeah, try to look out.
Dodging
You know what I mean?
traffic.
You're not very
Agile.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
no.
You just got to get lucky with the car.
Never had a good step in rugby either. Never. It's just always the bloody
Or just bulldoze everyone
straight
over.
through 'em.
tongue and side step, mate. Bush.
There's no point stepping around them when you can step into them.
You just get step in, mate. Go through
Step
'em.
over 'em.
Step over 'em, mate. Douche like that dog. Bang. Give him the don't argue chow. You know
Should
what I
have
mean?
What
Offended
is
the
don't
bloke.
argue? What's that?
I don't argue.
Don't
Oh,
argue.
I thought you said don't argue. I'm like,
Don't
what is
argue.
this now
Don't
that I'm
argue
missing
sounds
out
like
on?
a Japanese dessert.
It does.
Can we get two of the donagi?
Yes. Would you like a hot tea? Would you like a hot tea with that?
Yeah, green tea, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. 2 donagis coming up. Muzzy.
Let's welcome you.
No, Moshi
fuckwit.
Moshi is saying hello on the
No,
phone.
he said he was doing the sushi thing where we go and they go,
Irashaimase.
What do they say? What does that mean
They
again?
say irashaimase, but they say very fast. Irashaimase.
Yes,
Or sometimes they drop the ira and they go, "Saimase."
Yes, 2 donagis.
no one's going to listen to this podcast. And if they were, they just turned off. I apologise.
No, they
So
did.
sorry.
Yeah. How did we
But there's
get
some
here?
really good shit on the podcast today.
Yes.
Oh, see.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Shit. Good goddamn pumpkin.
There's actually like such a great call from a lady who survived the tsunami, the Boxing Day tsunami in 2004.
Oh, tsunami.
It's a serious story. It's a shocking story,
is. I'm
but it is a
shook
story of survival.
I'm shook at that. This is probably one of the best phone calls we've ever got.
Ever,
I
ever.
reckon.
Like
Probably
in
the most
my life ever.
enthralling, probably the most enthralling phone call we've ever got. And you're going to hear it very soon on the podcast. Mushy.
Mush mum.
What's that? Is that goodbye?
No, if you want to say, you say matane, like see you later.
Matane.
Matane.
Say enjoy the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that. Enjoy the podcast.
There you go. Oh, yeah, in English is fine.
Yeah, great.
Nathan, please get the round applause ready for a cruise director that led the ill-fated 2013 Carnival Triumph, a.k.a. the Poop Cruise. She featured the documentary Trainwreck Poop Cruise, recounting the harrowing experience of managing over 4,000 passengers and crew after an engine room fire left the ship powerless and adrift in the Gulf of Mexico, or Gulf of America, we've renamed it. Please welcome to the show, Jen Baxter!
Hello, Jen.
Hello.
Jen. I want you to know, before I heard about this TV show, I was getting random messages from friends of mine around the world saying, have you watched the show about the pooing on the cruise ship? And I thought people were making this up. Now, for those of you who don't know, so Jen, you were on the cruise ship when this whole thing went down. 4,000 passengers. Jimmy just read 4,000 passengers. They lost all the power.
For 5 days.
5 days. At one point, the tugboat tried to save the boat and it pushed all the poo out of the toilets. Were you surprised that things just kept getting worse and worse, Jen? How was your experience?
Yeah, yes. I thought when it first happened, because it was a fire in the engine room, and after we realised that we weren't, going down, I was thinking, the engineers will do what they do. They'll put wires together. It'll all be working. We'll be back at, cruising again in an hour. And then, it just kept getting worse. Absolutely.
What was the worst moment for you, Jen?
Well, that morning when they said the fire has burnt through all the cables, so we don't have any power. Oh. And I was thinking, And then they said, we're going to send a tugboat to come and get you. And me going, okay, well, that's great. We'll be back home tonight.
Yeah.
Not realising that tugboats go about 2 miles an hour.
Oh, God. And there was something that you had to say over the PA when you realised the toilets also weren't working. What was that?
I just said, well, the only way really we can do it is if, the wee in the shower and, poo in a bag. So when I did it, I just had to say it, number one in the shower and number two in a red bag.
Jen, be honest, right? So people go through this harrowing experience, 5 days of absolute hell. They then get the refund and a voucher to go and do it again. How many people actually cashed in on that refund? Did they want to go on a cruise again after that? Because I certainly wouldn't.
Do you know what? Honestly, it's really surprising. Exactly the year after, to the day, on the same ship, we had a reunion cruise. And it wasn't organised by me or Carnival. There was about 200 guests who all decided to come on exactly the same date the year after, and they had this big reunion cruise.
That's a sick sense of humour. I love it. You've got to look at it like that.
Per union?
You know what?
Reunion cruise.
What's mad as well, with all this this Netflix thing, which has been just insane, all these messages from people. I've had so many messages from people saying, that was the best cruise we've ever been on.
Oh.
Wait, the poo one?
Yeah, because we actually had a really good laugh as well. It wasn't just pooing in a bag and that was it.
Is that because you gave him free alcohol, Jen? Is that why?
Let me tell you, we gave him free alcohol for an hour and then we quickly shut it off.
Yeah, we turned into Hunger Games, right?
Oh, it was wild. It was just insane.
What about the media storm that was around it? When there's another cruise ship comes up, there's internet connection, now there's helicopters. Were you told don't talk to the media, we're going to keep this in house? What did you get told at the time?
No, well, honestly, I didn't even look at my phone. I was too busy to even be on it. So literally, until we got back to the States and there was a million news crews, I just didn't realise it was that big a deal.
And this is because the passengers got Wi-Fi from the ship that saved you guys, right? And that's when the media storm went crazy.
Well, the ship, it didn't save us. It was just a ship that was coming to drop off supplies.
More bags.
Little bits of food.
More red bags.
Yeah, to be fair, poo bags.
So, Jen, is it true that people were having sex in public on the boat? They were getting that bored that they were just, rooting each other in the hallways of the cruise ship?
I want to say yeah, but I never saw it, and until I heard them girls say it on the documentary. That's the first I've heard of it.
I'm sorry, just because you lose power doesn't mean you then just go and have sex in front of everyone.
Oh, the lights just went off in the studio, guys.
Right, let's go.
Jen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jen. Poop Cruise Director. I'm sure you love that title. Jen, thank you very much for being on the show. We appreciate you, and thanks for being a good sport about it.
Thank you.
131060. How bad was your holiday? Holidays from Hell, Em, after we just had Jen Baxter from the Poop Cruise.
Yeah, it's popping off on Netflix.
Yeah.
Pooping off.
Sorry, my bad.
4,000 passengers on a cruise ship that loses electricity.
For 5 days, and they had to poo in little red bags.
Bags. There was fights,
Pee in the shower.
Pee in the shower. Absolutely horrible stuff. Holidays from Hell, 131060. Carmen. Hello, Carmen.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're good. Holidays from Hell, what happened?
So we went on a extended family holiday to Bali for my mum's 70th. So the whole family's there. And at the time I had 4 young children. And on the first day we went to a shopping centre and a man was riding along on one of those Segways.
Yeah.
And I could see that he was about to hit my daughter. So I moved her out of the way, but then I got hit and the wheel kept spinning around on my leg and ripped the skin off my leg nearly down to the bone.
Oh, my God.
And so this was the first day of the trip. So then I couldn't swim with the kids. I couldn't have fun. I couldn't.
Yeah. Did you have to go to
I
hospital?
couldn't walk. I didn't go to hospital. I had to go to the doctor in the hotel every day, which was very painful because they would scrape it out.
Oh, yeah, because they need to clean it. There'd be so much dirt and infection.
That was day
I had
one.
to take antibiotics. I couldn't walk. I was so miserable. It was the worst. So I had to spend the whole holiday hobbling around, miserable.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Carmen. That's so crap.
In Bali.
Oh, it was so bad.
Day one in Bali. Bintang won't fix that. Hello, Kerry.
Hi, how you going?
Good. Holidays from hell. What happened?
Holidays from hell. Okay, let's take it back to 2004, Boxing Day, Tsunami. My husband and I were on our honeymoon, and basically, in a nutshell, he thought the toilet was overflowing, but then opened up the door and there was water everywhere, and then everyone was screaming and running, and then he basically said, we've got to run, and he grabbed me by my back, and I said, no, I need my stuff. So I went back in the room, I don't know why, and picked up stuff from the safe that was open, and as I got everything into my pockets and my bag, the window cracked and all the water came in, and I was basically... Me and my husband were swimming down not swimming, we were screaming, but and then we ended up at the stairwell and we got to the top of the roof, and basically we were level with the hotel, and we watched on top of the hotel people just get absolutely slaughtered. It was
God, Kerry, so wait, you and your new husband survived the tsunami in 2004?
Survived.
In Thailand?
Yeah. In Thailand.
So, Kerry, so what happened? So you're on top of the roof, and then what happens? Did you have to come and get rescued?
Well, then everyone was panicking because there was talk that another one was coming, so everyone was in mad panic. There was only about 25 of us on the roof, so can you imagine, people in the water, literally washing away around us? Yeah, it was bad.
How long were you on the roof
for about 2 hours.
And then does the water go down?
It went down, then came back up, and then cars started imploding into the building and blowing up.
Oh, no.
And then
God.
they said, don't go in the water because the electrical currents, yada, yada. Yeah. And then I basically, a guy came, I don't know, he was on a door, and then he's some kind of geo guy, I don't know. He just said, look, it's time to try and get our way to the land. So we went to the land, and then we waited for some army trucks to pick us up, but they didn't come.
Oh.
And then we had to walk. We had nothing, no suitcase, just the clothes we were wearing. I was the one smart person, not so smart, that went and got the passport and my wedding ring from, and I had a few bits of baht lying around. So we grabbed that, and basically we were just on foot walking, thinking waves were coming. And then the worst bit for me was I got my monthlies about an hour later, and I know, and it was Armageddon because there was nothing. People had to loot to get stuff, and a little girl saved my life, a bike, and just found me some stuff from a chemist, or I don't know, whatever store was flooded, and just took some, came back and gave some to me. And they hosed me down in a well.
They hosed you down?
Because,
And we had no clothes, nothing, and then getting out of Phuket was just a nightmare. We got a hotel where there was hundreds and thousands of people, 12 people to a room, and just waiting out until airport was completely back in business, but it wasn't. And I don't know how my husband wrangled us on a flight, but there were no passports. It could have been a serial killer. It could have been anyone on the run, and you wouldn't have known who was on those flights.
Kerry,
it was just
and that was straight
back
to Australia? Was that direct?
No, back to Bangkok. And then when we got off the plane, we were 2 days or 3 days late to our hotel, and they cancelled our accommodation.
Oh my God!
And the news hadn't hit yet. The news hadn't hit yet. It was 2 days, I think, and the news hadn't hit.
Were you able to make contact with family and friends back in Australia? Did you have any way of contacting them to tell them that you were alive?
So the funny story about that was, there is something funny about it. We got to 80 metres above sea level where we're all congregating. It wasn't very high, but we were seeing the death. It was just gross. And I knocked on a mansion, who was oblivious to everything that was going on. They were two gay guys that were just in their rooms. I don't know what they were doing. Oh, God. Anyway, I just knocked on the door and said, look, something's happened. And they looked at me and went, geez, you look like absolute rat shit. And I said, can I come in and call my family? And when I called home, my little sister at the time, she was 11 or 12, was playing computer games. and she answered the phone. And because she was playing a game, she didn't connect me to mum and dad and said, just stop whinging and flapping and carrying on like a crazy person that you are. I only got, there's been a natural disaster, something's gone wrong, but we're safe, and that's all I got in.
And your little sister hung up on you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Kerry, that is unbelievable.
That is
have
a
blown
holiday
my
from hell,
mind.
yeah.
That is insane.
That tops everything.
Yeah,
I know.
God, I wish we didn't go back to Alex. You know?
Trending now with Emma Chow.
Diddy's trial has come to an end. It's all over the news today. Yesterday, the jury agreed on 4 out of the 5 counts, and early this morning, they finally reached the full verdict. He was convicted out of 2 out of 5 of the counts. He was convicted for federal prostitution felony, but acquitted of the more serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. He held his hands in a prayer gesture and said thank you to the jurors when the verdict was handed down. Up for a maximum of, the 2 counts are up to 10 years max in prison, so he's looking at potentially 20 years in prison. His team asked for $1 million bond and that he be permitted to travel between, get this, Miami, LA and New York while he awaited sentencing.
This is wild because normally, you apply for bail before the court proceedings have happened.
Yeah.
He's been found guilty and now he's asking for bail until the sentencing,
Well,
which is
obviously.
just insane to me.
But I think he's only found guilty for a couple. So the reason they're asking for the bail is the original charges he wasn't found guilty on.
Yeah.
The charges that he was found guilty on were brought on after the initial charges.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, well, the things that brought us here, we're not guilty.
It's just two out of the 5.
2 out of 5 ain't bad.
2 out of 5. The odds are actually in my
That's under
favour.
50%. Is he that bad?
Yes, but the judges rejected it, which is good.
Judges rejected it, so he's gone back to jail.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And apparently October 3, I think, is sentencing day.
Yeah, okay. So he's got a bit of time. He'll spend it in there, and hopefully that the sentence is just for what he's done.
Yeah. And finally, Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet, they've been together for 2 years. They've looked at buying property together in Europe. He's very close with her family and the kids. Now they've taken a step they probably normal people would have taken like years ago. She started following him on Instagram.
This is wild to me.
But he doesn't follow her back because he follows zero.
People get angry. I've followed no one. I unfollowed everyone.
Yeah, you went full Justin Bieber. Yeah.
Went full Justin Bieber. I didn't follow anyone.
Okay.
I was so surprised the amount of people that got so offended by that.
Okay.
But you followed nobody. It wasn't a culling. He followed nobody.
I followed nobody, and they were like, "Yeah, but just why would you unfollow me?" And even now, I'm not great on the socials. I'm bad at following people back.
Sure.
I don't always look at the notification bit.
Yeah.
And people even now be like, you don't follow me, and I'll be like, okay, I'll follow you. Like it's I think we make social media out to be this bigger thing than what it really is.
I remember when Jimmy did the big unfollow of everybody and he wasn't following anybody, I would just call him and be like, hey, bro, just make it me.
Well, okay, but just quickly on that, right? So I unfollowed everyone that I was following, but on Instagram, you can pause your account.
Yeah.
If you want a break, right?
Of course.
Right.
You can pause it. And there was this girl called Alex who worked in the newsroom adjacent to us who had suspended her account, unbeknownst to me. So when I unfollowed everyone, she wasn't an option to unfollow.
Yeah.
But I was following her. So when she reactivated her account, I was following one person.
And it was just Alex. Alex from the newsroom.
So random.
You just loved her bulletins, mate. She was good.
It was like that for a couple of weeks and no one told me.
It was love, buddy. It was love. Jim, how about this? If you had to get one adjustment to your body, right? You had to. Any kind of adjustment,
Boobs.
even though your bodies are beautiful and they don't need adjustment, but just in case you were given the opportunity to make one adjustment, and what would it be? Boobs? Boobs,
Maybe
yeah.
some buzzies.
How big are we talking for the buzzies?
I think because I'm a slight person, I'd go for a large B.
Yeah, large B cup. Jim, one adjustment to your body if you had to.
Well, my penis.
Reduction.
The reduction.
Smaller.
Yeah. Because look, it's just, it's hurting people.
Well,
that hurts me.
Well, that's
because I'm a giver.
It's just
And I can't give him. Well, that's
It's to help you back.
You can't give everything of yourself.
Mate, that's slapping.
So,
Well, it's people think it's a cane. Article has come out this morning revealing what the majority, how about this, of Australian lottery winners are spending their money on, and the answer is cosmetic surgeries overseas.
Okay.
This is wild. This is what a lot of lottery winners are doing.
Like BBLs?
They're heading overseas and they're getting things like BBLs in Dubai, right?
Whoa, very dangerous. The most dangerous surgery you can get.
Veneers in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Hair transplants in Turkey.
Yeah.
Boob jobs in Thailand and nose jobs in Europe. This is what people are spending their money on.
I love that every country has a speciality.
Well, I think I was doing some research. Apparently, one of the main reasons is because it gets you away from, seeing eyes and people that you know. So a lot of people like to go on a holiday and then enjoy the holiday destination and also come back with, a new set.
Well, no one's going to question you. Oh, you want to go to Dubai for X amount of time? Oh, you go to Turkey? Awesome. Go to Europe? Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but essentially going on a holiday and you come back, hang on a minute, new nose.
Yeah, but I always look, whatever you want to do, your body, your choice, right? That's literally how I feel about it. But I think I find it weird when people go away because they don't want anyone to know.
Yeah.
And they get some type of surgery that is completely obvious. So say, I knew a girl at uni who she had probably A cups and she came back with a couple of double Ds.
Yeah.
And then denied it or just didn't talk about it?
She's like, I went on a holiday and then she came back and she had these massive,
huge.
And I went, oh.
Yeah.
Nice boobs.
Congrats.
What do you say? Do you say congrats or they look good?
And also, they weren't hidden. She was wearing something very... And she goes, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, you...
So she's wearing plunging neckline.
Yes.
And very, very
and
different.
She's like, you can't comment. And I'm like, I'm not... I'm just... They weren't there.
And now they're there.
And I'm like, I'm going to get out of this conversation.
That was murky water.
Yes, you go past a construction site, there's a new bloody building. You go, oh, that wasn't there.
It wasn't there. Now it is.
That wasn't there last week.
And obviously, it's a choice.
Yeah.
She didn't just wake up with them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I wanted to be like, congrats.
Yeah.
Imagine just waking up with them. You know what I mean? Waking up with two big
Well,
ones.
That's how I'll get you one day.
What a bit.
But some women get them and then they don't want to talk about it. Like they know that they're there, but they don't want to have it.
But I understand that some women get them for more, they've had kids and stuff and they want them to get them more shapely.
Yeah.
So the size isn't changing too much. And I get that because there's no notice, but when you're going from A to double D, come on, that's a big...
A friend of ours who we used to work with in radio, she went to Thailand for a holiday, came back with a new schnoz.
Okay.
Brand new nose.
But she also didn't want people to notice, but the nose was very visibly different.
Yeah.
It went from like a big pointer to like a more cuter, flatter sort of thing.
But then deleted all the previous photos.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
and she did ask Nathan and I, she goes, don't mention it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but this is the thing.
So we
a lot
haven't
of
mentioned
these,
it, just so you know.
We didn't say a name.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But a lot of the people that then become like lottery winners and they come into money, these are surgeries that they've always wanted to get done from when they were kids.
Yeah.
Like these are insecurities that you've had for a long time and it changes how you see yourself in the world. Like it massively like boosts their confidence and they feel like, okay, this is the best version of myself now.
I'd get like a little nip and tuck at the moment, just a little nip and tuck down here just to clean things up, right, underneath, right, get rid of the love handles or just reduce them slightly, fix the little bags under the eyes.
I just, look,
Had a look at myself this morning going, you could do it with a bit.
Figure it out.
That's why I'm going to Spain.
Again, Nate comes back after 2 weeks. Double Ds, right after the eyes and then
I got carried away. Too many cervezas.
I think, again, it's your body, your choice. If that's what makes you comfortable and it's going to make you more confident, you're going to feel better about yourself, do whatever you want.
Mate, I'll do it.
But I'm like, I'm not the prettiest picture, you know what I mean?
You're not quite an oil
People
painting.
aren't punching in, Jimmy when they're trying to get it done.
Yeah.
But I just
don't
think,
knock it before you try
I
it.
think there is something, though, then a slippery slope is in that if you look at yourself in a way of like, I want to change it and improve it, like where do you draw the line there? That's the thing that worries me. It's like, I think there needs to be some part of yourself that needs to find the love in yourself and you need to look in the mirror and go, I love that person.
Here's what I want to do now. 13, 10, 16. You can remain anonymous here. What did you get done overseas? Nice, Sammy.
Hey guys, how are you?
We are very good. What did you get done overseas?
It's not me, but it's a bunch of school mums.
School mums?
School mums?
Yeah, they all go to Turkey. They either come back with their nose done, the lip, an eyebrow lift, butt implants. Like, apparently Turkey is the place to go.
Okay, I knew it was for dudes for like hair transplants and stuff, but are these women going in packs like together or they're going separately?
No, they usually go separately, but they're all cousins. And what they do is they get like a package deal and it includes their accommodation and their food. They stay at like a special place that does all of this as a package.
Oh, it's a whole
God, it sounds nice. It's an experience.
Yeah, whatif.com. Check it out, guys. They have all your packages available. Nicole.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What did you get done overseas?
I got a lower facelift with a neck lift and under my eyes as well.
Oh, my God. All in one go?
All in one go. It was 12 hours.
Where did you go to get it done?
I went to Thailand, went with my husband and only told one of my older kids, but I told the others when I got home because,
Nicole, were you nervous going to another country to get things like this done?
Very, very nervous.
Nicole,
I did sort of go with that package thing too. Like they organise it all. They give you lifts to and from the hospital.
Yeah,
And all
wow.
that stuff. So yeah.
Nicole, you don't have to, but I'm fascinated to know how much that cost, that surgery.
It was about 15,000.
Okay, so that was for
15
facelift,
grand.
neck lift, and lower eyelids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So how long was the whole thing for? And did you just tell everybody you're going on a holiday?
I went away. Yeah, I did. I just said I was going to Thailand, so
Yeah.
I went for 10 days all up, which I really needed because there was a lot of bruising. And by
Yeah.
the time I came back, I just had one little bruise, so it was good.
Yeah, so
Okay, so the
you're able to
recovery was-
fly? Yeah, you're able to fly with all this surgery?
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
Nicole, so while you're recovering and going on a 10-hour surgery, and I feel like you couldn't really move much, what's your husband doing?
Looking after me.
Yeah.
Combined by
You
the
have
pool
to
Sydney
put all
cook time.
creams and all that sort of stuff. And,
Yeah.
And you
But after 3 or 4 days, we could go shopping and do all that
Okay.
stuff. So
you're really happy with how you look and how it went?
love it. Yeah, I really wanted my neck done, but you can't do your neck without your lower face.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Nicole,
So-
did you tell people, or when people said to you when you came back home from your Thailand holiday, were they like, oh my God, you look so fresh? And you say, yeah, thanks, got some work done. Or, oh yeah, I'm so refreshed now after 10 days in Thailand.
Yeah, I didn't really go out of my way to tell anybody. If somebody commented, I would tell them. Or we do work for clients, and I had to wear a face support thing, compression garment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously the ones I saw with that, I just told them. So it wasn't
Yeah.
a secret, but I didn't go out of my way to tell anybody.
How much out of interest, Nicole, and I don't know if you know the answer, if I was to go to Thailand to get some new buzzies, how much has that sent me back?
The boobs aren't too expensive, only about $5,000 or $6,000.
Whoa, no wonder people go over there.
tomorrow.
What if you could get more of the Jimmy and Nath Show with Emma? You can with the podcast. Thanks to What If. You're only a what if away from great holidays. What if? It's Aussie for travel.